Support for this podcast comes from UTSA's Graduate School, featuring a world-class faculty, mentoring programs, and a professional development center to contribute to your future success. The University of Texas at San Antonio. Visit utsa.edu/graduate to learn more or apply.
Welcome to the War Room. We got Dev, Kill, Jimmy, PJ, B. Austin, the Hot Block Commander. How you want it in a 1 or 2 hour show to keep the brain running with the premise to talk sports on a national level. Bold with the topic, sorta like some rebels when it's game time. They like the Fab Five during prime time. Sports conglomerates speak their minds a little bit. For sports medicine and sports veterans and greats. The 4th and 26th saw the war in Kuwait. It's the War Room with 5 nights at the round table. 5 Philly guys diversified and educated.
I love this show. What about you, Reed? What up, War Room family? You are once again live in the War Room, brought to you by War Room Sports on the War Room Sports Podcast Network. I'm your boy, Devin McMillan. I'm at the round table with my bros. We got Jimmy the Blueprint and the dude, B. Austin. Look, man, triple-double talk of the week. So we're going to talk about the triple-double machine himself, Russell Westbrook, and a whole lot more. So keep it locked right here for the next 2 hours. If you want to holler at us throughout the show, you know the drill, and if you don't, shame on you. But join us in the JW Philly Realty chat room at blogtalkradio.com/The War Room. You can join us on Facebook or Twitter at War Room Sports. You can also call us directly when we open up the Digital Extreme Tech hotline. That number is 323-410-0012. Now, throughout the week, when we're not on the air, you guys have to remember to check out our podcast network. Besides our own podcast on the War Room Sports Podcast Network, you can also listen to great shows such as the Broad Street Line. Shout out to Roy and Chris. The Tissue and the Tape Hip Hop Show with Phil, Matic, and Savad. John Appetit with the Burtons for all you foodies out there. Quick Slants with Fred Perdue if you love college football. And our latest gym for all you TV heads, which I am one of, On the Couch with the Wilsons. They just did a show this week about me and Jimmy's guilty pleasure, loving hip-hop. Pick one. The city doesn't matter. It's all ratchet. We all love it. So shout out to them on that one. But just visit warroomsports.com, click the WRS Podcast Network tab, or go to our free mobile app and click the network tab. Fellas, yo, y'all ready to get direct texts from President Trump?
I'm going to ask you to hold a couple of hours. You know what I'm saying? Trump, let me hold a couple of hours.
Did y'all see that story where dude's going to be sending us direct?
Yeah,
I mean, it's something that's been in place.
You can keep your filthy White House and the people that left the fleas in it prior to me. I'm going to be in the towers.
You know what I'm saying? Yo,
spending $1 million a day on security. Trump is that dude.
That's $365 million in security budget.
He has nothing to give. But I just want to say before we start out, I want to send a shout out to On the Couch with the Wilsons. You know what I'm saying? Because they talking about Insecure on their most recent episode. So, Insecure is at work. And shout out to them.
They were talking about Love and Hip Hop, the finale to Insecure, and there was one more on this latest episode. What was it? I figured it out.
But shout out to them though, because it's something about those husband and wife channels like John Appetit and On the Couch with the Wilsons. Like those my twists, man.
I know. Mm-hmm. I would say they inspiring me and the wife to do something, but it ain't true because my wife don't want to do nothing.
We talked about don't want to. The funny thing is we talked about
y'all should have been exploited your beautiful twins, man.
I've already. And the thing is, I have some friends of mine who went to Howard who have twin daughters, fraternal twin daughters, just like us. Have a son 4 or 5 years old. They have the same family dynamic, and they wrote a book called Twin Individuals. They're selling merchandise and all that kind of stuff. I just wrote the book. It's on the way. So,
hashtag Twin Individuals.
Shout out to my homies.
But me had talked about doing a John like maybe 2 years ago, inspired by the War Room, of course, and we were going to just talk about TV. But the problem is, we so busy watching TV that we ain't got time to, make the potty. You know what I'm saying?
Unless we just do it live while we're watching TV.
Cut out.
For Twin Individuals, shout out to the Herndon Browns, Shareem and Kerry.
Cut that check, Shareem and Kerry. Cut that
Shout out
check.
to y'all.
My book is on the way, so I can't wait to read it to my little ones. But no, like me and Brandy, we could do something just about life, like just talk about anything that pops up. Children, that's a topic right there that can give you hours and hours of good radio. But because of them, we don't really have time. So I couldn't get her down in the studio, but I'm trying.
I'm gonna go ahead and announce to the world. I don't know when it's coming, but world is definitely coming. War Room Sports will be bringing you the series, the show about nothing. I think the brothers
now. Yo, when did we have that idea? Like 4 years ago? We still ain't record episode.
Yeah. Well, I'm re-announcing it. I didn't make my announcement also last episode.
I don't think we ever announced it. That's the whole problem. Now that you did it, now the pressure's on.
Yeah, to put
4
the pressure
years
on.
in the making. Show about nothing.
New show coming. About nothing.
It has to hit the airwaves now. You just put the pressure on.
Got it. Yeah, put the pressure
on. All 14 people that listen to this podcast know about it. So now we got to do it.
14,000. Yo, pressure.
Shout out to all 14 of y'all.
1,000.
Yo, man, shout out to Wale with the, he made the mixtape about nothing, because, you know what I'm saying? You know where you got that from, Young?
Because he's a Seinfeld fan as well.
Yo, stop citing it, though. Stop citing it, yo.
You know what I mean, Young?
All right, Joe.
but real talk, though. So shout out to, all the amazing podcasts on our podcast network. Shout out to the Wilsons. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the Burtons. And shout out to everybody right now listening to this show on podcast, and you at your desk right now fronting like you working. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to you, because we know you ain't working.
You ain't doing nothing. You ain't doing nothing but welling to your boss.
You ain't nothing.
You probably talking to me on like Facebook or Twitter, or you Snapchat me that. Never mind. Go ahead though.
No, but real quick, back to y'all president. This whole text message service. This isn't anything new. This has been presidents could do this as far back as 2006, but nobody else has used it. But I guarantee you that President Trump will use it because, first of all, he can't get off of Twitter. So if he can put out a text if he could push out a text to every cell phone in America, and it's unblockable, he can't be put on the block list, the do not disturb list. Come on, he's going to be using it. He's going to use it. But my
question is,
and I don't know if he's going to say something. Nah, of course you can't respond. Come on, like 200 million people responding at the same time.
Because I got some bars. I ain't even going to disrespect the ball.
This is a one-way. This not like in Baltimore. It's not like a two-way. It's a one-way, not a two-way.
I'll be like, yo, where them hoes at though?
He'll probably tell you, like, I'm grabbing some.
Right now, they're in Virginia with
tonight. You coming through? I'm at the Towers. I ain't at the White House.
Yeah, man.
All right, man. Let's talk some sports, at least some sports news. So, Jimmy, let everybody know what happened this week while they were on that good grind, trying to come down off that Thanksgiving holiday high.
Man, you already know, Young.
Everybody in the gym this week.
Why you want to grind? Why you want to grind is brought to you by DirecTV, because if you're like a better TV experience than you got right now, you know what I'm saying, what you got to do is go to warroomsports.com, click on that DirecTV logo, and get DirecTV. You get a discount because of us, and you also get the Sunday ticket. You get that for the remainder of the season. See what's popping. But if you call yourself a sports fan, how can you not have DirecTV? So go to warroomsports.com.
I don't know.
Listen, man, some sad news. There are 71 people dead. There's only 6 survivors of a Brazilian national soccer team's plane crash in Colombia. Rest in peace. Damn, 71 people. Yeah.
That's crazy, man. Lamia, Flight 2933, crashed near Medellin. Anything near Medellin, you start to think some suspect type stuff. They said the plane was in total electric failure and without fuel. Like, how do you run out of fuel? What airline will take you anywhere with not enough fuel to get where they're getting? I mean, they're going from, I don't know what the route was, but Colombia is not like across the world from Brazil. So I'm really not understanding how this plane could have run out of fuel unless it just wasn't fueled up prior to, taking off.
Somebody didn't pay who they needed to pay for them things.
I mean that, or like, they was like me as like a 17-year-old. Like, I know I can make it. Like, you know what I'm saying? I know my car.
Exactly. It's like something you would do in the car back in the late 90s. Like, I'm going to put $2 in the tank and try to go from uptown all the way down to the Sixers game and back. Because back then,
you could do that on $2. You could do that on $2.
Back then. Yeah,
I think
of course you could, but you were still pushing it. You don't do that in an airplane. You know what I'm saying?
When I hear Medellin, I get all kinds of other thoughts. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I thought about Pablo, the real Noriega.
I don't think somebody on that plane made the payment they were supposed to make to the person they were supposed to. So, you know what I mean?
# blame Trump. Anyway, man, rest in power to everyone affected, all the people that are no longer with us, the survivors, man. I don't know what to tell you because, y'all messed up too for the rest of your lives. Like, I don't even know,
And I don't even know. I don't even know what the what condition the survivors are in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, are they going to have any kind of quality of life throughout the rest of their life besides the payment they're probably going to get?
I think you got to assume that if they fell out the sky in an airplane, that their quality of life is doomed.
Yeah.
I mean, let's take D.B. Cooper the game. That's one of them was responsible for it. Oh, I see.
And they also had other people from the team who weren't traveling with them. So, they got to sit back and it's crazy to come to grips with the fact that you lost all of your teammates. You could have been on this flight. Like, their quality of life, I mean, they're going to be thankful, but at the same time, like, they're going to probably go through it for the rest of their lives.
Yeah,
it's crazy, man.
Listen, man, speaking of having to not knowing how the rest of your life's going to be, RG3 had his money stolen from a car in the Browns garage. Like, Robert Griffin III, a.k.a. the Cornball brother, is still making news, but nothing positive.
Robert Griffin don't know how, like, his first, second, third quarter going to be every time he does get to play. His girlfriend, Galette, or however you say her name, said they parked their car in the stadium garage. And I assume in this stadium, this is like the players' portion of the garage, right? Isn't that how it is at all arenas? And
I mean, but he's not a player, though.
Have their own parking lot.
He ain't no player.
I'm going to just blame it on Trump and say that one of the Trump supporters was tired of race mingling, that they see with Bob, and they was like,
Pops.
Yep, there you go.
But listen, in 2016, this is the world we live in. Like, she felt the need to take this to Twitter. I mean, I'm not even knocking it because this is actually how you get things done in today's world. I'm just still befuddled. Shout out to Nori and Joe Button. I'm just still befuddled at that. That's where we are in the world. But she tweeted, so you valet your car for a Browns game and come back to all of you and your boyfriend's money being gone from wallets. She said, ain't about why we left wallets in the car. We parked in the players and family parking garage. I should be able to leave anything I want there. Well, lesson learned.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, you know what I mean? Yo, trust in Allah, but still tie up your camel. But listen, though,
people that the people that work there still broke. They still making $12 an hour, if that.
Yo, but here's my thing, though. Right? All right, so.
We are now off the ISIS top 20 list.
Yo, they don't catch these bars I be dropping, but all I'm saying is this, though, right? Deb, the point you're making is a bigger point. I was having a conversation with my mother-in-law earlier, right? And she was mad because like somebody in her family, announced they had a baby or whatever on Facebook. And she's like one of these people, she refuses to like basically acknowledge that communication has changed. Because what I was trying to explain to her that, a lot of times because we're older, we look at it like, yo, you drawing and you doing this. but people generally don't use the phone no more. Like Facebook is how people communicate with their loved ones. That's just what it is. Like, but a lot of people refuse to embrace it. Like, I shouldn't have to go online to find out what's going on with my family. I'm like, well, you won't find out then.
Yeah, I mean, communication has definitely changed. But even in this situation, like, you would wonder, like, why does she feel the need to go tweet this out to a bunch of people? But I'm telling you, companies, like, just say, you know, I don't know how the garage company or whoever works for the Browns, but companies do not like pressure put on them, from a public social media post. Like, when people found out basically via social media about the dude on the Delta flight, you know, talking about Trump and we got any Hillary bitches on this plane and all that kind of stuff.
I'm sorry, that wasn't funny.
Delta actually used it as an opportunity to, like, I don't even think the airline was really in that much heat from critics on the whole thing, but they sat in that boardroom and found a way, like, man, we could use this to our benefit, whether we're in trouble or not. I think the only thing people would have looked at, you know, especially our people, you know, we're going to pull the black card. Man, if he was black, he would have got kicked off that plane, blah, blah, blah. He didn't get kicked off the plane, but after they landed, he was banned from any future Delta flights, and everybody on that plane got a full refund for that particular flight. So Delta just upped their, you know, their public standing, and they really didn't have to. They could have just banned the dude.
But you don't have to. But the thing is, things build with this new. It's a whole book about that. It's called the Thank You Economy by Gary Vaynerchuk. Gary Vaynerchuk cut us a check. But he wrote a book called The Thank You Economy, and it's about that, how things can start from that one small incident and then build. By them acting, they get ahead of it, and they bought themselves, like, you can't put a price tag on what they did because they're going to receive so much business for that. It's hard to quantify, but it will happen. Like, the way our economies work even changed, which he titled The Thank You Economy, when you can reach out to a company just with a tweet, and if it picks up momentum, like, you know, you can get things done. You know,
you can get things done. You can put that pressure on them like that.
Absolutely. You know
the crazy part about it is half the people on the plane probably agree with the dude, but they ain't gonna get that refund back.
Not at all. Like, you know, so but the thing is, salute to them for
like Heil Trump, but give me that money.
Yeah, salute to them for like being ahead of the curve and was like, yo, we gonna use this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yo,
something happened?
Breaking news.
Joe McKnight, former NFL football player and standout, I believe it was at USC, was murdered.
Oh.
Yo, I didn't know where you was going with that, but damn.
Family members at the scene identified the victim as Joe McKnight. This was in Tarrytown. That's in Jefferson Parish. I believe that's Louisiana.
Damn. Yeah. Man, rest in peace to Joe McKnight, man.
Joe McKnight, man, rest in power, beloved. Like,
I
don't
didn't think that was coming either, because you know, B. Austin be misusing the breaking news. Jim.
I know. I thought he was about to say like,
I thought he was about to say something crazy.
I thought he was about to say like an IG model was putting a new picture up. We should all go check out or something. Young man.
I thought he was going to tell everybody to tie up their camels or something.
Yo, all I want to. Well, before we move on, I do want to say this though. Like, if any of y'all try to like at War Room Sports and strong arm us for anything, don't even do it. All we're going to tell you to do is to go your mother. So don't even try.
There's nothing politically correct about us. Like, we'll fist fight you. We'll fist fight you.
Anyway,
I'll come see you.
Man. Shout out to RG3 for like, you know, bringing up all sorts of talk about other issues.
Shout out to Joe McKnight. Shout out to Joe McKnight's life, man. Rest in power.
Shout out to your life, man. Yo, and shout out to the families that communicate through social media and don't talk on phones. Speaking of that, right?
Shout out to me.
Yo, my family literally has.
You ain't on Facebook. You don't know my kids.
So, dog, one side of my family, right, literally has a Facebook group just for people in the family. So they communicate birthdays.
Oh, yeah, I got that.
Oh, y'all got that too?
Two sides of my family.
Yeah. Okay, see, I only got one side that has done it thus far, but it's like crazy.
Shout out to the Andersons.
Yo,
crazy part about it is,
shout out to the Williams side.
No. I don't know.
Yo, but here's the crazy part. It started out as a good idea, but all they do now is fight. They sit there and fight each other in that joint. I go in there just to laugh, like, yo.
That means it's just that means it's they keeping it real. It's no different than a family reunion.
Yeah, it's sort of like
everybody get hyped. Let's go have a family reunion. Then you get to the family reunion and everybody sit around and fight.
Yo,
so
what was the name of that Bruce Willis movie where he like sat in the crib and like, you know, set up to that chair and put his head in the joint and had a whole robot like go out and handle his life?
I don't think I saw that.
Yo, anybody listening, let me know. It was Bruce Willis, and he had this like chair in his crib, and he like sat in the chair, he hooked his head up, and it was like a clone of him that went out and handled his life. He never had to leave the crib though. My point in saying that is, if you look at the behaviors of people online, like we're literally moving our lives online. Like, yo, it's even like dudes that are street dudes that be on like Instagram now. Like our whole life is online now. It's kind of crazy. Somebody had, I think it was called Surrogate.
They figure out how to move the blue tops online.
Surrogates,
man.
Sound familiar.
I think it's called Surrogates. But anyway, you'll be awesome. Yo, there have been cats that got arrested for trying to like, you know what I mean, push their product online.
Yeah, idiots. They're following in the AR ad footsteps.
It's kind of crazy where we're headed, man. You know, I just wonder like 20 years from now, when we on show like 3000 and whatnot, what's going to be going on in the world because of technology. Anyway, man, getting back to what happened while you were on the grind, 2 black football referees, they took a knee during the national anthem before Virginia Union versus Virginia State game. Did you guys see this? What do you think about this?
Yeah, this is one of those things. I think we were having this conversation the other day, Jim, when you say something like, no disrespect, and then you disrespect the hell out of somebody. That's kind of where I am with this. It's like, okay, I definitely, love and appreciate what you did, but like at the same time, this is Virginia Union versus Virginia State. These are 2 HBCUs. This was safe, you know what I'm saying? Because there was really nobody in the crowd who was gonna get upset at you about this. I mean, but this type of stuff does go viral though. So there were some people, online who gave these dudes the business, but in the environment where they did it, it was kind of safe. But I can't knock them for that.
Hey, be awesome.
If y'all ever get to ref a Old Dominion versus VCU game, let me know if they did the same thing. But shout out to them for doing it.
You see what the boy just did, be awesome? He basically said they had a crooked nose.
Yeah. Or weird thumbs.
Or weird thumbs. Yo, for those that don't know what we talking about, man, y'all got to get in our group text. And we do have a group text that we share with the world, man. War Room Sports Game Time on GroupMe. A lot of conversations going there. So some of these jokes that we have on our show, like inside jokes based upon GroupMe, man. So get on there, man.
So become an insider.
Yeah, pretty much. But
Bull said Jones had a lazy eye though.
Yo, why are nipples ever lazy? But listen though, in terms of these referees though, man, like salute to them. You wouldn't have anybody come out against you because of where you're doing it, but and shout out to them for being calculating then, because I don't know whether they even get a chance to ref them other games. I mean, they ain't got the for the connection, so they may not get a chance to do them other games.
Yeah, but no, man, shout out to them for doing it. I would just hope they keep it 100 everywhere they go. So,
yo, and Dev brought up the conversation we had the other day on Facebook. Shout out to everybody who helped me contribute to I Ain't No Hater Nothing playlist. You know what I'm saying? We made a playlist of the greatest hating songs of all time. And yo, you can actually get the playlist. Fans, listen, you can get this playlist on Tidal and Google Play Music by going to bit.ly/Joe Thomas Google Play or bit.ly/Joe Thomas Tidal. Dev, Cat didn't even realize what I named the sites. Like, I'm straight Joe, because Joe Thomas is a hater. But anyway, with all that being said,
king of hate. It had to either be him or Positive K.
Yo, yeah. Oh my God, yo. That Positive K song is the most violent, hateful song ever. Anyway, with all that being said, man, let's move on.
What your man got to do with me?
Yo, you know how long you had that problem?
I ain't trying to hear that, see?
Yo, but the thing about that song could never come out today because I listened to the playlist earlier, and that is on the playlist. And Yo, by the third verse, I felt like he was verbally raping chick. Like, he was like, yo, so persistent. I'm like, dog.
Because he wouldn't stop. Yeah.
I'm like, yo, what is wrong with you, cuz? Like,
and she wasn't even that hot. I guess he felt like he could do that since he was the chick. So.
Yeah, how about that? Yeah, he probably a transgender now. We don't even know what's going on with Positive K. Somebody find him. Anyway,
you know he was doing the chick's voice on that? Yeah. Yo, he couldn't pay somebody a couple dollars. He couldn't get a friend to come do that.
I learned that.
You know why? Because back in the day, rappers used to think that showed you had skill if you could do that. It's the same reason why Biggie be like rapping two voices.
Oh, he do the voices, yeah.
And DMX be doing the Damien. Hi, Damien. Doing that voice and all that nonsense.
Big do the voices and then have somebody else do it on the video. Like, yo, we know that wasn't Puff. Like, that don't sound like Puff.
Or he really didn't want him in there, but that was your man trying to be dancing in the video.
All in the video.
All in the video.
Yo, Big should have went to Death Row. Still be alive.
Yo, Big might have went to Death Row. He's still alive. That's probably why Big ain't here, because he was going to go. Never mind. No more speculation. You know what I mean?
All in the
video. Let's talk about this story. Speaking of hip-hop and sports, because this is where hip-hop and sports meet. Floyd Mayweather and T.I. have been feuding for a while, right? So, you know, there was a picture that had leaked with Mariah Carey, Floyd Mayweather, and T.I.'s wife. And people were coming at her. People were coming at her like, yo, why are you posing with his enemy? You know they don't get along. Like, what are you doing? And she was like, well, that was the queen. That was Mariah. She asked me for getting the picture, so I did. What am I supposed to do? Yada, yada, yada. So that was that. Yo! So that was that, right? Now, you move forward a little bit. T.I. posted on IG. He was having, like, dinner with Kevin Hart and a couple other people, and they, like, cracking jokes on each other. And T.I. Conveniently posted the joke that Kevin Hart did where he called someone a Roger Mayweather in the face ass, which is funny, right? But they were busting on each other for a while. Why did T.I. post that one part? You know why? Because he was trolling.
Yeah, he was trolling. Because he was laughing real hard. He was laughing a little too hard.
Extra hard. Harder. The joke wasn't that funny.
Yeah. So Floyd, you know, he was holding his trump card, no pun. And he posted a video of Tiny dancing on him like they was like at, you know, Fox Valley circa the 90s. Like, yo.
The same night of this party that she claimed Mariah forced her to take the picture, right?
Exactly. Yep.
Mm-hmm. She was whining up on him.
Yeah, Duddy wine.
Yeah. Floyd hit that.
Getting real Rihanna.
You can tell by that thing. Floyd hit that. He definitely tapped the troll.
I lost a lot of respect for T.I. to begin with because, you know, there were certain things when you're in his position, your bird can't look like that, man.
I knew he was gonna say that. I knew it wasn't because of anything he said to Floyd.
Your bird can't look like that.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though, right?
But Biggie told him. Biggie told him like 20 years ago. He said, "Yo, I F RuPaul before I F them ugly ass escapes."
All right, but you gotta understand, B. Austin, right? So Bull was a dirty super predator, and the chick basically had the money that put him on so he can get 4.5 and some studio time. So if nothing else, he's being loyal, and you know everybody know that he doing what he got to do.
These songs ain't loyal.
Yeah, but my thing is everybody know that he's doing what he got to do. But yo, my thing is she's still even with him sort of having say the upper hand in that equation. Yo, it just goes to show you, man. Like, I mean, you know,
these songs ain't loyal.
Yo. Here's a random thought real quick. I'm interjecting into this conversation based upon something.
She looks like an animated human pig.
Yo, based upon something B. Austin just said. All right, so I had my music joint on random, playing random songs, right? So, you know, I do like a little Rastafarian music, a little Jamaican music. And the song came on that I never paid attention to it back in the day, but I was listening to the lyrics, yo. Y'all remember that song called Boom Bye Bye by Buju Banton?
Boom Bye Bye in the body boy.
Yeah, you remember that song?
No, not the man, them he did. Oh.
Yo, do you know what he talking about in that song?
Yeah, of course.
Yo, that song.
I don't.
Yo, that song, but put it like this: that song could never come out in 2016. He's basically talking about go taking up arms and murdering Michael Samms.
Yeah. Boom Bye Bye in the body boy.
Yo, but if you listen to the lyrics of the song, he's talking about, yo, if you see one of them, you got to go grab a gun and, like, lay the murder game down. Like, that's just what it is.
Suzette is not for Paul. Suzette is for Anne.
All right,
where
that's
they
a
get
random
that
thought.
from?
I know the audience is like, well, why is Jimmy bringing that up? Because B. Austin had made it like a Jamaican John, and I've been meaning to share that with y'all because I thought it was hilarious. Because I'm like, yo, I never paid attention to what he was
for
saying.
Our audience, we just getting you ready for the show about nothing.
Guess wrong with him. Anyway.
Bye. Yeah, because we just going to be topics that's going to be
original,
going right
back to
off
the
the top of
point,
the dome.
though. Like, how does T.I. respond to this, or does he not?
Yo, T.I. can't set himself up in life to where he can't respond because he shouldn't be in this position to begin with. Go ahead.
No,
I think Floyd checkmated him on this one. I mean, I think the only person he need to take this up with is his wife. So I think he got checkmated. A little something.
Yo, because I can't imagine. Listen. I mean, he wanted to like hit up like Jay-Z and get some of his killers that Kanye was talking about because it's like
I don't need that. All the guns he carry.
we all know, like, you know, people are probably at their best, you know, when they're made up to go out, and then we know what people look like, you know, early in the morning when you roll over in the bed. Yo, he rolls over every morning to that.
You believe that, though?
No.
That's probably the reason why she did it, is because he don't roll over every morning.
He probably wake up to her like once a week.
And then Floyd, even though Floyd checkmated him, like chess champion checkmated him, Floyd nasty. Floyd nasty too.
But here's the thing, though. Like, here's why you can't beef with Floyd, because first of all, there's no wins in beefing with Floyd, because even if you're more intelligent,
17 years old,
no one cares about that. People are more people these days, like, you know, well, Floyd got, you know, so it's like, what's the point? You know,
like if I got into a public reading contest with Floyd, he's just gonna pull out a wad or a bag, and then everybody who's, you know, judging the contest is gonna be impressed, and I lost.
Yeah,
that's all
pretty much.
Care about.
So it's no point in even beefing with Floyd at this point, like, because you get no wins. You get no wins. So leave Floyd alone, Tip. You know what I'm saying? How about making a good album again? You didn't make a good album in a while, so never mind. With all that being said,
you better get with Paperboy.
Yo, Paperboy is fire. He the best rapper in Atlanta right now, man. Shout out to Paperboy.
He ain't better than Young Dolph.
No, Paperboy is fire, dude.
Paperboy is fire, guy.
Paperboy, you know what I'm saying? Paperboy, all about that Paperboy.
You better get that Paperboy.
Yo, anyway, that's what happened while you were on the grind. All right. Free Kevin Gates. Let's give birthday shout-outs.
Yeah, let me give a couple of birthday shout-outs. And when I say a couple, I really mean a couple. Birthdays are brought to you by Digital Extreme Technologies. Do you or your business need a custom website? Hell yeah, you do. So for dynamic, professional, and most of all, affordable custom website solutions, you need the homies at Digital Extreme Technologies. No need to break the bank for an effective online presence. Top quality, results-driven websites at incredibly affordable prices. And if you can't even afford the incredibly affordable prices, guess what? Financing options are available, so you can put something on it. Visit digitalextremetech.com or call 267-205-4203. And for discounted rates, be sure to tell them that the homies at War Room Sports sent you.
My birthday, yay!
All right, birthdays. Like I said, nothing special today. Shout out to Mike Flores for all my Washington professional football team fans. Y'all know who that is. Mike Flores turns 50. And shout out to Pamela McGee. Actually, she's family of some War Room family. Shout out to Omar McGee out there doing his thing with the school and the young children. Pamela McGee is also the mother of JaVale McGee. Yeah, JaVale McGee of Shaqtin' a Fool fame.
I'm about to say the Shaqtin' a Fool legend.
Yeah, Shaqtin' a Fool legend, JaVale McGee. Shout out to Pam McGee. She turns 54. So we like to give a nice big War Room salute.
Shout out to Dr. J.
On their birthdays and their birthday weeks.
My birthday, yay!
All right, we're going to get Fred Purdue on the line.
That was some light birthdays.
Yeah, it was real light. I wasn't trying to dig. I'm sure KC Mack got something for us.
Yo, KC Mack is going to be like, yo, It was Steve Jelson's birthday.
You don't understand. Like, there's certain people like he knows, and we know all of them. But he gotta know the audience that we preaching to out here. Like,
y'all miss like, Kenny Payne's birthday.
Oh, you miss Ira Newble's birthday.
No, I'd never miss an opportunity to talk about Ira Newble. So that I
never hate more for no reason.
I don't hate him. I just clown him. Like, there's nothing to hate him for. He was trash talk juice.
Yeah,
I just clown the dude. He's clownable. Him and the boy Jared Jeffries.
Who's worse, Jared Jeffries or Ira Newble?
Oh, Ira.
Well, Jared Jeffries was a lottery pick because he was supposed to be that work. So probably him.
Yeah.
Ira Newble overachieved. He was a starter in the league for a long time. And
I still say Ira Newble's worse because his name is IRA, like individual retirement account Newble.
Irish Republican Army.
Jeffries, he wore those clown pants. He wore those clown pants at Indiana in the championship game, and then came to the league and was clown pants. All right, so real quick before we briefly talk to Fred about some college football playoffs, because you can check out Fred talking about the college football playoffs in depth on the War Room Sports Podcast Network. Just click on that Quick Slant. And the newest episodes of Quick Slants will be up a little later on after the show. But you guys can check out our website at warroomsports.com. While you're there, look around, click on the Contact Us tab if you want to send us a message about the company, the show, or if you inquire about sponsorship and advertising opportunities. For general inquiries, you can send us an email to info@warroomsports.com. While you're on the site, make sure you click the memorabilia tab so you can buy some War Room Sports merchandise. Click the blog tab to read our latest articles. Then you can click the respective icons and tabs to like our Facebook page, to follow us on Twitter and all our other social media sites. You can also subscribe to our iTunes podcast, watch our webcast at War Room Sports TV, or listen to the WRS Podcast Network. And you can also download our free War Room Sports mobile app to get everything I just mentioned on the go. You can join the JW Philly Realty chat room right now during the show at blogtalkradio.com/the War Room. To enter the chat room, just sign up for a free profile on Blog Talk Radio. If you don't want to do that, I don't know why, but if you don't, you can sign into your Facebook and Twitter accounts. So while you're at it, make sure you click follow, because by clicking follow, that'll get you updates and reminders about the show. Say we're doing a show at a different time like we did last week on Thanksgiving. We went at 10 a.m. instead of our usual time at 6 p.m. If you click follow, you'll know those kind of things because you'll get emails about it. All right. So if you guys want to call in and speak with us, the Digital Extreme Technologies hotline will be open as soon as we finish talking to Fred Perdue about college football. Just dial the number, 323-410-0012. Press 1 when prompted. If you're already listening from your phone, just press 1 if you want to holler. So before we get into these hot topics, Jimmy, why don't you let everybody know who Hot Topics are brought to them by? Also let them know that Queen Sugar is available on Audible.
Absolutely. Listen, I was about to already get into that. If your schedule is too hectic to read as much as you want, try audiobooks. Get a free audiobook because we got the hookup by going to audibletrial.com/warroomsports. That's audibletrial.com/warroomsports. A lot of great audiobooks out there right now. I'm reading the new Chuck Klosterman book, which was a New York Times bestseller, and I'm also reading Queen Sugar, which, of course, is the book that we've chosen for the War Room Sports Book Club, which you can find on Facebook. Just look for WRS Book Club. We do have our own book club, and Queen Sugar is what we're reading, and you can get it for free. Get you a free Queen Sugar by going to audibletrial.com/warroomsports. Yes, we do read, and now we have a group of readers that, we're going to get in there and talk about the book and break it down, so on and so forth. Shout out to Sharon, for managing that group for us, because it's popping. But audibletrial.com/warroomsports, and we'd like to thank Audible for their support of this podcast.
Yes, sir. And Fred Perdue is nowhere to be found at the moment, so we're just going to go on with our hot topics. Major League Baseball will not be in trouble of a work stoppage because they came to terms on their new CBA. Here's a few of the highlights. I don't spend too much time on this, but a few of the highlights. The luxury tax threshold will rise. Last season it was 186 million. Now it's 195 million. It's going to top out at 210 million in 2021. So basically, you won't have to pay a percentage penalty for every dollar you go over until your payroll gets to those numbers that I just stated. There will be no international draft. This was a large point of contention between the owners and the union, but teams will now have a cap of $5 to $6 million per season to spend on amateur international free agents. No more.
And it hurt the Dominican economy.
No, actually, I think it's better for like the Dominicans and the cats down there. I think the people who might suffer are the people over in like Asia, if I understand it correctly. The free agent compensation will remain, but teams will no longer have to surrender a first-round draft pick for signing a player who has already been given a qualifying offer. Instead, teams that exceed the luxury tax threshold would have to give up a second-round and a fifth-round pick. Teams under it will forfeit a third-round pick. But that won't go into effect until after next baseball season. The rosters are going to remain at 25, and expanded September rosters are also going to stay. I think the league was trying to add a 26-man, but didn't happen. The biggest thing to me, the highlight of it, the home field advantage in the World Series will no longer be determined by the All-Star game. I thought that was the dumbest rule in sports, and I'm glad that it's going by the wayside. What say you, fellas?
Yeah, I think that was one of the dumbest things because no one cares about the All-Star game.
Right, but they had to actually go out there, coach it, and try to get everybody involved and actually try to win it at the same time. Like, it was too much.
Yeah, it was kind of stupid. I give them credit for trying something different, but sometimes, it don't work. So you should have scrapped that a while ago.
Give it up for the winter meetings, Joe.
No doubt. Them the meetings that we're talking about.
Are they going to allow their players to travel across the world to do more research, and to break up, trafficking rings and things like that?
Trafficking rings, human trafficking. Yeah. I don't know. They might put that in the budget so he don't have to pay for that out on his own dime, because that is research purposes. So shout out to them. They got their new deal together. Yeah. Anyway, NBA Players of the Week, two guys by the name of Kevin Love for the Eastern Conference and Kevin Durant for the Western Conference. Yo, before I even read this, man, I've been noticing, like, Kevin Love has been balling. Like, he seemed like he's finally finding his niche with the Cleveland Cavaliers, and they're allowing him to play. Probably like, because Jimmy was talking about how, LeBron all about that coasting life so they get to where they need to get to. So Kevin Love, and you know what? I've watched several of their games, and Kevin Love seems to do his damage early and then just fall back and let Kyrie and LeBron do what they got to do. So that might be their compromise. Like, all right, man, we're just gonna let you get off first. If we get down too quick because you garbage, then we're gonna have to step in. But you get yours first, and then Kyrie is the finisher.
So they treat him like
LeBron just do his thing throughout the middle, and Kyrie just take it over in the fourth.
So they treating him like a young lady. You get yours first.
All right. You go first.
If you don't get it when I get it, then you got to get it another time. Anyway, listen.
You don't get it when I get it. You ain't gonna get it.
But man, listen.
Hopefully,
man.
our listeners
shout out to Kevin Love, man, for trying to find your niche, man. Because you can king of putting up meaningless stats, but ain't nothing wrong with that. You put up meaningless stats, then we can always debate how good you are, how good you aren't. And shout out to LeBron, because I was watching TV the other day, and I saw there's this new game show coming out, executive produced by LeBron, and on his joint, I'm like, yo, game shows too?
Yeah, LeBron ain't about that basketball life for real. Listen,
he don't care about ball.
Here's what happened last week. Love and the Cavs. Usually when they write these articles, they say Love led the Cavs, but I ain't even gonna say that. Love and the Cavs had a 3-0 week. He did lead the Eastern Conference in scoring at 30.7 to go along with 9.7 rebounds, 2.7 assists, and 1.3 steals. He's balling, Kevin Durant in the remember last week was when Love had that 34-point first quarter. But then he ended up with 40 points because, like I said, he gets his early, and then he go first on the Trisney. Kevin Durant and the Warriors went 4-0. KD averaged 24.8, 8.3 rebounds, 6.3 assists, and 2.75 block shots. He was out there swatting stuff, and he shot 50% from three. Now, what's interesting about Kevin Durant, because, he's won this award plenty of times in the past, but when he usually wins this award, his averages are more like 33 points a game, 8 rebounds, some assists. Kevin Durant winning Player of the Week at 24.8 points per game, I'm just not used to that. But on the team that he's playing on, that's about the best you're going to do in a week's time because you have so many guns on that team that need to shoot. So shout out to Kevin for winning the NBA Players of the Week.
Shout out to Casey Mack for talking trash about him and his pick and pool and the fact that he's high up in the pick and pool, because that reminded me to put my picks in. And as I'm putting my picks in, right, I realized this Monday night's game is the Colts and the Jets. Are they serious?
Well, they were serious when they made the schedule. They didn't know how it was going to turn out.
It's like 5 and whatever versus 3 and whatever.
And the crazy part about that, the Colts are still in contention to win their division.
Failure versus futility.
So let's go. We got to make this quick now. We're going to go to Fred Perdue to talk some college football playoffs real quick. And then we're going to talk about the triple-double machine, Russell Westbrook. So let's talk some college football.
Better than LeBron.
We got Fred Perdue on the line. What's going on, Fred?
What's going on, fellas? How y'all doing?
You're pretty good, man. How are you?
I'm pretty good, man. This college football thing is winding down. It took forever to get here, but it went so quickly.
Yeah, that's the story of football, period. College and professional. Like, the wait is so it's just crazy. And then when it comes, it goes as fast as I can't say that on the radio. But Fred, real quick, let's talk about some
like Jimmy on a Saturday.
Let's talk about some college football playoffs. Like, what are the 4 teams that you have in the playoffs? If everything was to end today, who's going to the playoffs, and how do you think everything's going to shake out?
Lincoln, Hampton, Howard, and FAMU.
Boom.
Arkansas
Pine Bluff on the outside looking in.
Exactly. I mean, it's funny you say that, and I'll get to your playoff question in a second. But I actually did a little research, and I'm actually going to tell you I'm going to actually make a pick. I'm going to make a pick on an HBCU game. Grambling State is going to dominate Alcorn State. I'm just going to say it. But that's another story for another day. I did my research. I don't take a lot of I don't get into the Division II games a lot, but that might be a pretty awesome.
Half of our listeners are asking right now, where's Alcorn State?
Yo, I tell you one thing though, Alabama may dominate college football. What their band sound like though?
Ooh. For Alabama, for the other people that don't have any rhythm and don't understand music, their band is one of the best in the land.
Listen, we don't disrespect.
But we have a high HBCU fan base though, so they're probably a little upset that Fred never talks about them. He talk about all these whites only schools. So.
Ooh, yeah.
If we get some
What you say, Fred? We sick balls?
Whites only pies, man.
To answer your question as far as playoffs are concerned, Alabama is my number one, undisputed, no questions asked. Throughout the year, I've given one pick all year. on the quick slants every week. I'm going to give you Alabama week in, week out. You already know I'm going to pick them.
Well,
they're my number one team.
Check. We need a shit. Alabama, come on, y'all. You're cutting Freddie.
I mean, it's a no-brainer. It's pretty easy to fit. I mean, Alabama is a flawed team, and yet they're still the best team in college football. For me, number 2, and they kind of got away with some foolery, is Ohio State. I really don't get this team offensively yet. J.T. Barrett, not the greatest passer in the world, but he finds ways to win games even if the refs have to help him. Ohio State, by the way, has a lot of finding ways to, whether it was in 2002 against the Miami Hurricanes with a late call and the refs finding a way to help, or against Michigan where, by the way, the refs that helped in this debacle of a win were alleged by Ohio State fans, and they were from the state of Ohio. By the way, it's mandated that no one in this game is a ref. They're not supposed to have any allegiances to either team or be from the state of Michigan or Ohio. Conveniently, majority of the refs making decisions were from the state of Ohio. I'm not throwing any conspiracy theories out there, but you know,
really,
conveniently this happens when Ohio State's number 2 in the country, and they find a way to win on a play that is decided by the refs to continue the game. Just saying.
Hey, Jim, Fred just hit us with one of them joints. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but, and then threw out the biggest conspiracy theory.
I think you a conspiracy theory.
All right, so who are your other teams? We know Alabama.
For number 3 and 4, Clemson showed us why they're still Clemson, even if it is against a fledgling South Carolina team. Offensively, you have Deshaun Watson, Mike Williams, Wayne Gallman, even though they don't give him the ball enough. Artavis Scott, Ben Bulwer at linebacker, Jordan Leggett at tight end. You have so many weapons on this team. If they don't Clemson, as they always do, find a way to lose a game, or they just don't start slow in the first half, this Clemson team is pretty good. And at my number 4 spot, for now, I agree with the college football committee, playoff committee, to put Washington in. Although USC is one of the hottest teams in the country, and I wouldn't mind them being there. Had they not lost to Alabama the way they did, I may just be okay with a 3-loss team in there. Michigan's a good team. They're still a bunch of overachievers, though. I think they're headed in the right direction, but recruiting is going to have to take over at some point. You can't continue to have the old regime's players just playing really well. But shout out to Jim Harbaugh, the only coach in America who can make a fledgling lower tier bowl team look like a college football playoff elite type of team. But with these championship games, there's a lot that can be changed. If Clemson loses, if Wisconsin finds a way to lose at number 6, you could have a lot of shakeup. We could potentially look at Ohio State doesn't even get into the Big Ten championship, and literally is still in. It doesn't matter, which is the flaw in this whole college football playoff system. You don't have to win your conference, and you can still get in. I've been an advocate of simply the winner of every conference. If you win your conference, you're in. Put a 6 team in there just to throw things off, and you have a wild card, and that's it. I mean, it's really that simple, but this is for the suspense, so this is what we have right now. We have teams we could have potentially 2 Big Ten teams that didn't actually win their conference get in.
Interesting. All right, so there you have it. If you guys want to hear any more in-depth analysis on college football, make sure you go to the War Room Sports Podcast Network and check out on a weekly basis. Gives you analysis on every game in our War Room Sports College Football Pick'em, and there's usually also an episode where he talks about the news and notes of the week. So if you go there anytime after hearing this podcast, you can check out the analysis for this week's Pick'em games. You can also hear about the playoffs. You can hear about the coaching carousel because a lot went down in the coaching world this past week, and a whole lot more. So make sure you go to warroomsports.com, click on that podcast network tab, and look for Quick Slants. You can also follow Fred on Twitter at FPurdueSports, and just check out everything he's doing there and on warroomsports.com. So, Fred, good talking to you, good brother, and we will talk to you next week.
Before you get out of here, Fred, I got to tell you something, man. Florida State, Freddie!
You know, for that, I just know, enjoy your NFL team's title as being reigning Super Bowl champions. It won't last much longer. The Chiefs will put you out your misery the rest of the way.
I mean, I hear you.
He ride with other teams.
But you act like I care. Like, but we're the champs right now. You know what I'm saying? And we smacked y'all chumps twice. You can win all these regular season games all you want to. It don't mean nothing. 16-1.
Ooh.
Tough rock, I said was popping.
Ooh. Strong words from a team that won't make a playoff.
Yeah, well, that's why your coach supported Trump.
We holler at you, man.
Hey, I really that.
All right.
Yes, you do. Yes, you can stop.
Y'all just gonna go on forever. So we're just gonna go ahead and end that. We got some basketball to talk. Yeah. So Gronk.
I was about to get good.
You think they had the same argument every time? All right, man. So let's talk about triple doubles, man. Because your man Russell Westbrook he's out of control right now. Now, let me see. Yes, he did. Now, just last night in a game against the Washington Wizards, Russell Westbrook notched his 9th triple-double of the season. The season is only 20 games in. It's the 46th triple-double of his career, and he's now averaging a triple-double on the season. So basically in this conversation, I want to know from you fellas, can he become the second player, the only player since Oscar Robertson in 1961-62 season to finish the season averaging a triple-double? How difficult would this task be for Russell Westbrook?
The difficulty would be described as impossible. Absolutely will not finish the 2016-2017 season averaging a triple-double. Salute to him. Very impressive. It definitely puts him in the best player in the world conversation. We've seen, the effort put into the development of various aspects of his game, and now we see the effort taking it to another level. But that being said, for him to average a triple-double point guard position, you don't even want your point guard to average a triple-double, for real. I don't see that. Yeah, I don't see that happening.
No, I mean, because the double is cool. I mean, I wouldn't mind my point guard going down and grabbing 10 boards.
I don't care if anybody on my team got triple-double.
I mean, Oscar Robertson, Magic, LeBron is basically a point guard. Jason Kidd.
Magic was 6'9". Oscar played it 1 through the 3.
Jason Kidd's up there too in terms of triple doubles. But hold on though. My thing is this, right? I think that it's an amazing feat. What he's doing right now is just utterly amazing. I don't think that he'll do it in terms of through the course of this season. That's if he does pull it off, that'll probably be like one of the biggest feats in the history of sports, bar none, because that's difficult to do night in and night out.
LeBron fans will
diminish the best player in the world.
LeBron fans will diminish it.
I mean, yeah, absolutely. But when I look at this, right, B. Austin brought up a point in terms of his name being thrown up there. I wouldn't say he's the best player in the world, but I mean, I don't think that anyone will argue that he's top 5, right?
You could put him in anywhere from 2 to 5 at this point.
All right. So with that being said, I also sit back and I watch like KD, who just won Player of the Week, and Easy Sniper and whatnot. Like, this dude is still at a high level, and is also a top 5 player. And all I think about when I watch these dudes play is like the 30 for 30 they're going to have in 10 years, like if we would have stayed together type thing, like the Shaq and Penny jump. because I think both of these dudes, in terms of how everything went with the beat, with them beefing and all that now, like they're gonna look back when they get old and realize how stupid they were. Same way Shaq and Kobe did.
Same way Shaq and Penny did.
Same way Shaq and Penny did. Man, Shaq must have been.
But it's crazy.
Shaq must have been an irritating mama. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Because Kevin Durant left. Like it's hard to understand fully why he left. Like they were at the peak of almost. They. I don't think they peaked on what they could do. Like they had these Warriors down 3-1.
Okay,
so you could play with these dudes. But I think Kevin Durant may have looked at it like, yo, if we didn't beat them then, we ain't gonna never beat them. So let me go get up with them. So.
Or he may look at it like, yo, I don't want all this heavy lifting. Let me go somewhere where I can
Yeah, and then go and leave Russ. That's another thing for me. Like I find it difficult to see any way that Russell Westbrook is going to finish this season healthy. I watch him play. I watch him play, on a nightly basis. And first of all, he's averaging 10.5 rebounds, and the way he's doing that is amazing because it's one of those cliche things where you say, man, he just wants it more. But if you look at the way this dude is going after stuff, he was on the foul line last between two bigs. Somebody, was shooting a foul shot. They had their big under the basket, then it was Russell, and then there was another big next to him. The foul shot went up. He boxed the one behind him, kind of gave the one in front of him a forearm, goes up, gets the rebound over both of them. And that's just one of those things where you look at it and you're like, yo, dude just wanted it more, man, because he's.
But that's the way he just
went against
overall.
2 6'10" cats and got the rebound.
And
because he plays so hard, Jim, I can't really see him making it through the season because he has to do everything on this team, man.
The only way I can describe watching Russell Westbrook play, he plays basketball like a middle linebacker. Like, he's just that aggressive. Like,
that's real.
Ray Lewis ass dude.
He's mad aggressive, and I don't know how you can keep that up. Because it's funny because Derrick Rose used to play that way, and you just can't maintain your health like playing that
over
aggressive.
82 games. Like it not to say that what Oscar Robertson did was easy by any stretch, and let him tell it was the hardest thing ever. But it wasn't as difficult. Like Russell Westbrook's effort level, night in, night out, makes you tired, and all you're doing is watching him.
Yeah.
Like his effort level is AI type effort. Like he just going a million miles an hour at all times, and it's like
shout out to that because AI in an interview recently just said Russell Westbrook reminds him of himself. He said not really the game, but the fire, the way he goes about it, like.
I mean, all the OGs recognize that in him. Like Kobe said the same thing about like just his intensity. Like they like the way
Michael
he
Jordan even said it.
All the old dudes claiming it. They all
people
claiming him.
MJ because Russell is repping his brand now, so people think But I think he was being real. Like you look at Russell and you can't like those cats that are known for that.
Yeah, he's the grandson.
How can you not see yourself in this dude?
You know what's funny though? It was funny is like he's always going to have haters because I mean if in the words of Tone Trump like if they ain't hating you ain't winning. But the fact of the matter is because of how he stayed with OKC and I see a lot of people that used to hate him kind of turn around now. Like I see a lot of Westbrook fans who are people that used to criticize his game. He didn't pass the ball to KD enough. Like now they Kevin Durant haters and they Westbrook fans because of how things played out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm thoroughly impressed.
Hey, B, did you catch that comment on the Facebook conversation? I don't want to say names. I ain't like B. Austin. He stays saying names. Where the boy was saying, a lot of them are like he passed only in situations where he know an assist is possible. But I'm like,
so
that's corny hate. Like that's not even good hate. Like you're a point guard, aren't you supposed to set
aren't I supposed to give the ball up when it's going to leave?
Aren't you supposed to set people? Like you can't even. This dude can't even average 11.5 assists without somebody.
Hold up though. Literally, that's what an assist is.
Yo, I don't even get that, and I'm gonna respond to that later. I haven't had the opportunity.
Somebody from Ohio.
You'll see. No, but you'll see. No.
Yo,
he's not even bright enough. to come up with that. His just go.
How you gonna have trash hate?
That's
isn't that when you're
un-American?
Pass. But I haven't. I'll tag you when I address it.
I don't know. I'm thoroughly impressed with what he's doing because in all facets of the game, he's found a way to not only improve but take it to the next level. He wasn't highly recruited. He's one of those DeMar DeRozan dudes I compare them to because coming into the league, they didn't know how to play basketball. They just faster and jumped higher than everybody else. And Westbrook has developed his skill level, developed his tactical acumen. Like, he's really a good player, coupled with being probably the most athletic guard that we've ever seen at point guard. So I'm just overall impressed. But like you said, injury, unfortunately, I do believe injury is around the corner. I believe fatigue could be a factor. I don't know, man. And he's married. They might be working on a family.
I think he has a huge chip on his shoulder this season, though, B. So I think he's gonna press. I think the energy thing, he's gonna press that out no matter. As long as he's healthy, I think he's gonna play.
I want him
way.
to get it. I want him to do it. Yeah. I want him to do it.
I'm definitely looking for him to get it.
But
it will be difficult.
You know what I do wonder though? I wonder, because he's having this amazing season. He'll either get hurt or he'll win a bunch of individual awards, and the team ain't gonna win nothing. And Kevin Durant will probably win a championship just by default. But I wonder in his heart, will it not mean as much? With Kevin Durant, he can front all he wants to, but I wonder if it just doesn't mean as much.
I actually think that it won't, Jim, but because these days when you're as good as a LeBron and you're good as a Kevin Durant, the reason you're doing it is because of the pressure that fans put on you to win championships these days. After Mike, everybody, you can't be great in a lot of fans' eyes unless you win a championship, which is the biggest crock of BS that I've ever heard. And shout out to Shadow Warrior in the chat room who was saying Westbrook will be one of the greatest players to not win a championship. I don't disagree with that, but I still don't think that takes anything away from him. You know what I'm saying? You go out and you play as hard as you can every single night. Everybody can't win a championship. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of the guys who are winning championships now is because they put their pride in the trash can and went and teamed up with people that they're supposed to be competing against. So
I wonder. We'll never know the answer to that. But he's going to win one with this team, this powerhouse team that's seem to be getting their stuff together. And I wonder if it just won't mean as much. It just won't mean as much because the thing about it is these players fall to the pressure of wanting them to win a championship, but you can't please these fans anyway. Because once KD gets the championship, he's going to have a huge contingency.
Then he got to win 5 more.
No, but even beyond that, he's going to have a huge contingency of fans saying, it don't mean anything. You had to go there to win it anyway. That's team. You know what I mean? They ain't going to respect it anyway. So you go there to prove this to them, and they're going to still dish you anyway. It is what it is, man. So I often wonder that because to see how these guys' careers will play out.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be in that contingent dissing him because he is stands on the polar opposite of competitive greatness. Definitely going to be one of the dissing them.
I'm still waiting for B to write a book called Competitive Greatness, man. You better go.
You ain't even going to write it. It could be
it's a lot of stuff happening on this episode. He threw the gauntlet out.
No, it could be a picture book. All you do is put certain athletes' pictures in it that don't have it. Just put yes or no.
Yeah. yo.
Make it a coloring book.
Coming to see you with baseball bat. I think that his picture would be in there as an anti-competitive great because he ran away. I think that when I look at who could have done it in terms of triple double, he's done it. I gotta look at LeBron and say, had you developed a serious post game, just two counters, it would have been that much easier for you to beat that guy that averaged a triple double. I really believe that. And now I'm looking at Westbrook trying to do it for one.
these dudes are tied at like 46 triple doubles, but it's amazing that Westbrook did it in almost 400 less games than LeBron, and LeBron is a triple double waiting to happen. You know what I'm saying? Like he's a triple double on any given night. So it's kind of amazing to me that Russell Westbrook has amassed this many this quickly. You know, at his stature.
That's because LeBron doesn't pass the ball only when it's going to lead to a bucket.
You know, that
he passes the ball when it's leading to pressure on him to shoot.
Yo,
B. Austin will always try to find a way to turn somebody's comment into LeBron slander,
and then be like, I don't hate LeBron.
I'm a fan.
I don't hate LeBron. Yeah, you need more people, beloved.
Don't the best player in the world.
Listen, Aki, you need more people, man.
That don't mean you don't hate him. That don't mean you don't hate him. You're just stating the obvious. It's obvious that he's the best player in the NBA. Y'all know I don't do that world thing. I swear to y'all, the air up there, there's somebody over there in the mother continent with no shoes on, running ball on a dirt court.
You think there's another planet where everybody hoop.
Planet Hoop. All right, so it is going to be difficult. Probably as a 6'3" guard, and you know, usually when they list you at something, they're being generous. But a 6'3" guard keeping up double-figure rebounding throughout an 82-game season is most likely going to be the hardest component of this triple-double. But I don't look at it like you do, B. I don't think it's impossible, though. You know, I just think the odds are stacked against them. But the fact that this dude goes out every other night and gets one, he's on a 4-game triple-double streak now, I think it's definitely possible, and especially on the team that he's now playing on. You know, Oklahoma City, throughout his tenure, they just lose talent, you know, every year. His biggest help right now might be Victor Oladipo. So,
that's when you know you're in trouble. I think it's damn near impossible. I think it's damn near impossible because of the health thing, and just like to keep that up over the course of the season, like, is ridiculous. So I don't know. Like I would say no. I think it's damn near impossible. If he does it, it'll be one of the most amazing feats ever. You know,
plus, I think he'll like try to get it. I think Russ gonna have people checking on his numbers during the game.
All right, here's the question.
And this not being because, you know, I'm not one of those people like Russell Westbrook is selfish. I just think the chip on his shoulder, you know, because of the KD situation and, you know, him being there by himself, I just think it's so big. Like he just gonna want to prove any and everything he can to whoever. But
here's my question, right? What's a higher number? The amount of triple doubles he gets this season, or the amount of wins his team gets?
They still win games, so
wins.
I'm gonna say wins. Yeah, I'm gonna say wins. I'm mad that I even had to think about that though,
but you did.
Yeah, I know.
You've done it.
You've done it. Yeah, I'm gonna say wins. But we spoke of LeBron a couple seconds ago. B. Austin slandered him again. But LeBron has been voted for the second time in his professional career as Sports Illustrated Sportsman of the Year. I think he and Tiger Woods are the only people to win it more than once. So shout out to LeBron. Congratulations on that. Some more kudos are in order. Michael Jordan and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar were one of, I believe, 21 people to receive the Presidential Medal of Freedom. President Obama is about to leave, so he's just giving awards to anybody he can think of. Gave one to Ellen DeGeneres, and then gave one to Michael Jordan and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I can't say that I know exactly why and how you get one of these, but it is the highest civilian award you can get. Any of you fellas know why Kareem and Mike got the presidential
Mike
medal?
Got it for sneaker sales.
Kareem got it for his contribution to humanity. And Michael Jordan got it because Barack Obama is from Chicago and loves basketball.
That makes sense. I mean, because he made sure during his intro speech to highlight that the '96 Bulls are the greatest team of all time. He was taking a shot at the Golden State Warriors, who didn't finish it out last season. Even though I don't think, that's just me. I don't think your record makes you the greatest team of all time. Like, people always just throw out numbers without context, without circumstantial evidence of what happened, and So I don't know if I think either one of those teams are the greatest teams of all time, but the '96 Bulls, I think they have way more of an argument. Even if Golden State would have won the championship last year, I think the Bulls are way more a part of that argument than Golden State would have been. But so shout out to Kareem and Mike. Did you guys hear that the Pistons are finally moving out of the Palace of Auburn Hills? They are going back to the city. They're moving into a downtown arena in Detroit, the Little Caesars Arena. So, cheap pizza and got themselves naming rights. $5 pies. The hockey team is also moving. The Red Wings are moving as well. They already play downtown at the Joe Louis Arena, but they're moving with the Pistons to the new Little Caesars Arena. What is some of the
Joe Louis like that?
I know we're going to talk about the malice in the palace on this question, but what are some of the things you guys remember about the Pistons at the Palace?
Yo, where was that at when they were playing?
And
they had that convertible, John.
The convertible roof?
Yeah, you remember they had there was some sort of it was some sort of convertible joint. The Pistons. Let me look that up, man.
Yeah,
that was the Pistons.
I'm like, I don't know. I don't remember that.
Let me see. But Malice in the Palace obviously comes first.
Yeah, the craziest incident that anybody's ever seen. Only because the fans got involved. Like, what happened between the players wasn't that crazy. Shout out to Kermit Washington and Rudy Tomjanovich. So it definitely wasn't the craziest thing. But, you had things like, of course, not just moments, but, you just think of the Bad Boys. You think of the Jordan rules. Of course, you think of the Malice in the Palace and things like that. I know David Aldridge actually made a list, and some of the things on his list, Game 2 of the NBA Finals, June 8th, 1989, Pistons versus Jimmy's Lakers. What happened this game? I'm trying to think. Were they in Detroit when Isaiah Thomas hurt his ankle and then hit 24 points?
No. They were in LA, I believe.
Oh, they were in LA when that happened. All right.
No, it was that. It wasn't a convertible joint. It just looked weird and bright because before.
I do remember it looking bright.
Yeah, I remember looking crazy. It looked like it was a convertible because it was so much space in it. They used to play at the Pontiac Silverdome, so it was it was literally like a football dome, and they packed a basketball crowd in there, so it looked crazy.
I remember the Silverdome sold for like $500,000 a couple years back.
Yo, I know. I was trying to put some bread together and cop it.
I did sell a 60,000 seat stadium, dome stadium.
Sports could have had its own stadium. We lunched.
I know. I bought a house instead. Probably should have bought a stadium and just lived in the concourse.
Yo, B. Austin used to give out $500,000 loans back before the never mind.
He probably gave a no doc loan to the person who bought the game.
Yo, that's why they had to get rid of it. They had a no doc loan from B. Austin.
Well, shout out to the Palace, man, Auburn Hills. In my vast stadium and arena travels, I've never made it to the Palace of Auburn Hills. The few times I've been to Detroit, man, they talking about how far Auburn Hills was in the first place. So wasn't ready to make that hump when I didn't have a car. So shout out to the Pistons in their new arena. Shout out to the Red Wings moving into the arena as well. Jimmy, I know you. Were you following this situation last night in Philly? The Kings and the Sixers game ended up being postponed. Yeah, I was watching. Like, for some reason, there was nothing going on because, the game couldn't go on because of whatever was on the floor that they were having trouble getting up. But I had the run of all the games on TV, but I couldn't turn the channel. I don't know why this was interesting TV for me, sitting around waiting to see if they were going to postpone this game or not. But, it's another black eye in Philly sports because, people are going to overhype the situation. But, I guess it is embarrassing, man. It's a professional arena. And if you listen to some of the players, they said they felt that the floor was a little slippery around 3 p.m. at shoot-arounds. But they didn't necessarily go to anybody. They just assumed, okay, the floor will be ready by the time the game starts. But then at 6 p.m., there were, like, slippery spots on the floor. And when they tried to wipe them up, there was this film on the floor. So I still haven't gotten exactly what it was. It's like a lot of people out there Thursday morning quarterbacking it who weren't even there. Everybody was thinking, okay, since the Flyers play there, maybe it was the ice, but the guy who runs the arena said, that's normal. He said when the ice, when you get moisture from the ice, you wipe it up and it's pretty much fine. But this film is something different than what went on there. And they kept interviewing Nick Stauskas for some reason. He was like the spokesperson for the team. And he was saying it wasn't really the way they were sliding on the floor. It wasn't really like you would slide from water. He said it was kind of like, somebody put some kind of grease on the floor. So they had no idea what it was. They put the call out to the commissioner, and he was the final word. He had to actually call the game. But that's a little embarrassing. Like, they gave. Go ahead.
I was going to say, it's on the local news they were talking about, and they showed it, and there was some speculation about the changeover from a hockey game and how sometimes this happens when that's not done properly, and you get that condensation. But yeah, it is terrible, man. Like, somebody.
It wasn't ice. It wasn't like a water condensation. You're saying it's a film. It was like a film.
Some of it was B, and then they were wiping it up, and then they noticed this film on the floor. So I'm thinking, and I'm not no professional maintenance man either, so I don't know, but I'm thinking that, okay, maybe it has something to do with the ice, but maybe the condensation from the ice was mixing with something that they clean the floor with, that they may not usually clean the floor with, and it backfired on them. I don't know. Are you trying to skimp on the cleaning products?
I think Joel Embiid didn't feel like playing that night, and being the funny bull that he is, I think he had something to do with it.
Speaking of the game, though, it was kind of highly anticipated. Now, people who don't have a rooting interest in the Sixers or the Kings would be like, who the hell is anticipating the game between the Sixers and the Kings? But the reason I say that, like, if you're vested in this whole process, and Joel Embiid, his minutes restrictions got lifted to 28, and it was to start last night, up from 24. Excuse me. And the fact that the Kings, have such a big team, this was probably going to be the first game all season where you were actually going to get to see Joel Embiid and Jahlil Okafor on the floor at the same time. They have not played 1 second together during this NBA season,
which is the dumbest thing ever.
Well, to the coach's credit, you really couldn't, because remember when the season started, they both were on minutes restrictions.
Yeah, I understand.
Because of
1 minute though,
Okafor's knee. Man, you had to use both of them to get a full game out of your big. So you couldn't. You had to sub them for each other every time they got into the game. So this was going to be the first game where you actually going to see the quote-unquote Twin Towers, even though Jahlil's nowhere near the size of Okafor. But this was the first time you're going to get to see those dudes all together. And your man is about to come back, too, because Nerlens Noel did a quick stint in the D-League to get ready. He just went there on assignment to get ready to come back. His return
don't bring him back.
Why not?
Yo.
Because if you if you are thinking like that and you want to get rid of him, you got to showcase him a little bit. People got to make sure he can still play.
Trust the process, man.
you got to play. You got to play.
Trust the process, man. Yeah, it's interesting, man, because I was looking forward. We talked about it in our group.
Boogie versus.
About you know what I mean? Shout out to everybody in our group on Group Me, the War Room Sports Game Time. But we were talking about them two having a chance to play together, and I was looking forward to it. And then this.
And you had Embiid getting to go against Cousins for the first time in his NBA career. On a higher minute.
But what's funny though? What's funny is like the grind of being a professional athlete. You probably look forward to having nights off. So I wonder, like, did they get that same feeling? You know how when you was in college and you went to a class and like 15 minutes passed, the teacher ain't show up, so y'all just left.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you like, damn, I ain't got class today. Like, you know what I mean? I want to be.
Well, they did like the way they were showing cats run back into the locker room. I think they did feel that way.
Yeah, I wanted to get
they were
like
out saying the right things on the camera, but
that same euphoria, or like when you in middle school and you getting ready to go to class you hate. And you walk in and you see like the TV, the teacher got like the TV on the stand, John, because y'all about to watch a flick, and you get excited because you realize you ain't gonna do no work today. Like, so I wonder if the players get that same feeling of euphoria, like when they get
TV on the stand. Yo, you used to get hype coming in the class.
Yo, tell me you ain't get hype. You like, oh, like I ain't do my homework too. Like, nice.
Oh man. So yeah, the Kings have a 7-game Eastern Conference trip later on in January, I believe. I think they might try to make the game up then, but the Sixers aren't selling out every game, so they gave everybody at the arena some complimentary tickets to an upcoming game, I think later on in the week or the weekend. And what about parking? He made the announcement, I think, because parking is diesel now at the Wells Fargo Center.
Dog.
I think they make
parking.
I think they make most of their money parking because nobody shows up to the game.
Yo, it's worse for a Flyers game. Flyers like double the price when they play. I'm like, damn.
Yeah, because they still getting sellouts. People love hockey, basketball. Well, not even just basketball, but going through the process that they're going. If you know that your team is purposely tanking, then they really. Even if you're not mad at the situation, like I wasn't, I still didn't think that they deserved my money. So I definitely wasn't going to pay to see them try to lose games on purpose. A shout out to the Sixers and the arena botching last night's game that never happened due to the condensation on the floor. Crazy. Stat of the week, of course, has to go to Russell Westbrook. We mentioned earlier that he has 9 triple-doubles this season. That's the same as the rest of the NBA combined. And I can tell you guys who has those triple-doubles. Well, I thought I had it.
LeBron.
Yeah, no, LeBron has 3. Harden has 3. And then there's 3 other dudes who have 1 apiece. But I could have swore I had it. Oh, yeah, here it is. Russell has 9. Harden has 3. LeBron has 3. Giannis has 1. Chris Paul just got 1 the other night. And Julius Randle from Jimmy's Los Angeles Lakers has 1. So, yeah, he has the same amount of triple-doubles as the rest of the league. And here's a stat that I saw. I didn't have a chance to vet this. But this happened when Russell Westbrook had his 8th before he even got his last one. They were talking about how Russell Westbrook had 8 triple-doubles already this season, and the New York Knicks had 7 triple-doubles in the past 25 years. Can y'all confirm that?
Back.
Let's make the Knicks great again, man.
Yo.
A lot of people can't really remember a time when they were. You got to go back to the early 70s, but yeah. Are the Knicks the most overrated franchise in team sports, in your opinion? I'm not saying that because I think that, but I'm just throwing that question out there.
I want to say the Cowbums or the Washington professional football team, but you really can't because they do have chips in what I consider the modern era, even though it's been over 20 years, the Knicks don't have any chips. They get talked about as if they have.
Shout out to Shadow Warrior in the chat room asking us why we gave the Sixers all that airtime. Skyview told him we were all from Philly, but he didn't provide any context to that because we don't usually talk about the Sixers, so it really doesn't matter that we're from Philly. But
only two of us
anyway, because we really don't talk about the Sixers much.
That's a great question, though. Back to your question about whether the Knicks are the most overrated franchise, because as soon as you say overrated, the first name that comes to mind is the Cowboys. But the Cowboys have won a championship, in the 90s, even though it's been a long time. And, like, the Cowboys always make for great news. Like, even when they're not winning, like, their drama is amazing. Like, the Knicks, people don't care about the Knicks the same way.
Yeah. Let me pose that question to everybody on Facebook, Twitter, and Shadow Warrior and Skyview in the chat room. Where do y'all think the Knicks stand as far as overrated franchises in sports? Because they talk about the Knicks as if they're a great franchise. We see free agents come to the Knicks and holler that the Knicks are back, but we're kind of wondering, like, back to what? So let me know what you guys in the chat room think. Do you think the Knicks are an overrated franchise? And if so, just off quick thought, where would they rank on your overrated franchise list? All right, so Jim, that's everybody, y'all know y'all can check out our website at warroomsports.com. If you want to call in and speak with us about any NFL topics, because we're about to get into that, dial the Digital Extreme Tech hotline at 323-410-0012. Press 1 when prompted. If you're already listening from your phone, just press 1 if you want to talk.
Yes, sir. So let's talk about the National Football League, and that talk is brought to you by Sports the Book. If you're tired of reading the same old sports books, put them down, and here's what you do. Go to sportsthebook.com or warroomsports.com and pick up Sports the Book. It is the single greatest sports book ever written. It's the Illmatic of sports books, and if you don't read it, you are playing yourself and doing yourself and your country a disservice. Sportsthebook.com and warroomsports.com. Listen, time to talk about some foosball. Yo, man, the Madden curse is real. The Madden curse is real. Gronkowski is to have back surgery. My back! Oh. And will miss several weeks. So we don't know how long he's going to be out. My neck and my back. Ow!
Man.
Thoughts?
My neck! My back! My neck and my back!
Oh, man.
This is
Mike, were you really sick this week? What was the problem?
I broke my back.
What do you mean by that?
Your back is broken.
What, a vertebrae or what portion?
Spinal.
Yo, why do you say back so hard like that? I broke my back.
Spinal.
Mike was lying. Mike was really, really lying. All right, but Gronk. Of course we know, because we talked about this in the War Room Sports Game Time group, and I was trying to explain to a couple of people in there. I think Gronk he's heavily dependent on Tom Brady. Of course, he played 2 games before Brady came back earlier in the season. He had like 2 catches for 11 yards. Now, we all know Gronk's a beast. I'm not trying to say that he can't play if it's not with Tom Brady. But the Patriots, we know they have this thing where, where the next man up thing is not really a cliche. Like, they actually do that, and they don't let things like this, bother their chemistry, bother their team. Somebody else just steps up in that position. They may not produce in the same manner, but the team stays together and they still accomplish great things sometimes. So I personally don't think, like, if Gronk, was to be out for the remainder of the season, or if he came back in a few weeks and just wasn't himself, which I didn't think he was himself throughout most of the season anyway. I don't think that hinders, their Super Bowl chances any. Like, if they don't win the Super Bowl, I don't think it's because Gronk was out. I don't want to diminish his role if that's what it sounds like I'm doing, but I just don't think, I think that team has proven in years past that, whoever's down, they can still move on and win games.
That's an interesting perspective. And to even do a deeper dive on that, I think that New England actually invests money in the tight end position. And while Gronkowski has proven to be a world beater as a tight end, I mean, he's definitely, from a talent and production standpoint, he is the man. I think that there's a tight end that's equally as talented on their roster. I don't think he's the same from
Martellus?
Yeah, I think Martellus is almost, if not as equally, but as talented. I think he is. I think that he doesn't have the same commitment to the game of foosball as Gronk, but I think Martellus is I think he's a way underachiever.
I believe Martellus Bennett leads the team in receptions right now. He was having a very good season until Gronk came back. Put it that way.
I'm just saying that, like, when you say next man up.
Well. I mean, he's not injured to the point where he's going to sit out, but,
he doesn't have a broken back.
Yeah, he's a little banged up right now as well, and he's not really practicing with the team. Yeah. I'm looking in the chat room for some responses to the Knicks. Shadow Warrior, he just took it upon himself to change that topic. He said the most overrated NFL team is the Broncos.
How?
Shout out to Jimmy's champion Broncos. He said your team is the most overrated. And every receiver is heavily dependent on the quarterback. Actually, if you listened to the show before, we've made that point for the last 6 years to the detriment of everyone else listening. The reason I said that about Gronk was specifically because of the discussion that we were having in the War Room Sports Game Time group earlier today. So, you're not saying anything that we haven't said over the last 6 years. We actually think wide receiver is the most dependent position in sports. If I can take it a little further, because it doesn't matter how talented you are as a wide receiver. If you don't have anybody throwing you the ball that's going to get you the ball, then it doesn't matter. So,
yo, hold, real quick, Dev.
Shout out to Shadow Warrior. It sounds like you were trying to make a point opposite to what we were saying, when basically you're saying what we've been trying to tell people for the last 6 years.
Hold up, though. The Broncos are the most overrated. First of all, who rates the Broncos? They're playing with Simeon as a quarterback. No one thought that the Broncos would win a bowl, but they are the defending champions, and they've dominated the division for the last decade while the Raiders struggled to get 4 wins. Now they have a little success, and, you want to say they're overrated? FOH. Yo, the Raiders have been asked.
Sounds like AFC West beat.
The last time the Raiders won a Super Bowl, nobody from that team is even in the league no more, and that's my threshold. If you once the league is nobody from your team is in the league, it's a wrap. So the Raiders are
I was wondering why Jimmy started going on the Raiders, but now I'm reading in the chat room that Shadow Warrior is a Raiders fan.
The Raiders are ass.
I see where the slander comes from, because Jimmy always slanders the Raiders on this show. And now I think you got 2 Raiders fans in the chat room right now, so you got your hands full right now, Jeff.
No, I ain't got my fans. I mean, the fact of the matter is, it's been a decade since, they haven't won a division in damn near 15 years. We've dominated the division, and we've dominated them. They are sons.
And shout out to Shadow Warrior again. I'm gonna give you your play. He said, "But us on the air are not in your meetings." But I just said, if you've listened to the show before, you would know that's what we say on the air all the time. Like, why are we arguing? We're making the same point. Like, it seemed like you're just there to
hold up, though. And he wants to brag about the Raiders being back, right? But here's my thing, right? The Raiders are having a good season. They're having a good season, but they ain't done nothing yet. So if you win, you can go ahead. Y'all can win 14 games. If y'all lose the first round of the playoffs, what are you saying?
Hey, man,
actually, that was one of the topics we're going to talk about. If you guys think the Raiders are for real, if we want to talk about that now, if you want to move that up, we can.
See, look,
I actually like watching them play.
He said, what is the all-time series tally? Who cares about what happened in the 60s? I'm talking about current. Like I said, if there are no players on your team from the last time you won anything, FOH with the all-time series tally.
Yeah, that seemed like those like Dallas Cowboy arguments.
Yeah, since 66.
Yeah, that's what the Dallas Cowboy fans.
that's the
y'all don't got Emmitt Smith. Y'all don't got Troy Aikman.
Talking about since 66. Doug, some people ain't have civil rights back then. Come on, man.
That was crazy.
Yo,
right.
but anyway, listen though. One thing I just want to say to you out there, Shadow Warrior, man. Yo, God bless.
Tebow. In Tebow we trust.
Tim Tebow. All right. So what the hell? We were talking about Gronk and his back.
Gronk, yeah.
Yeah.
Finally.
So I don't think. And Shadow, that wasn't a meeting. That's a public group. You can join if you want. If you got the GroupMe app on your phone, just join GroupMe, and then you can look for the War Room Sports Game Time. So yeah, those aren't private meetings; those are public groups from listeners and supporters of War Room Sports. So feel free to join if you want to come in and give you 2 cents on the stuff that gets spoken about in there. Welcome, you are welcome. Tony Romo, where do y'all think he's going to end up? Speaking of the Broncos, because I'm thinking that they might be a front runner for his service. Would you welcome that, Jimmy, as a fan of the Broncos? Would you welcome a Tony Romo addition to the team?
Short-term solution, absolutely, definitely would.
Yeah, I think that would be a great. The thing is, he's not going to remain healthy. So it's how many games can you get out of him, and what level of production. But if he's on his game, I think that would make the Broncos scary again. And the thing is, I like Simeon, and perhaps he'll develop. Perhaps he'll develop into something. He's kind of cool under pressure. He doesn't put up any numbers, but I like Simeon.
He's shown me more than Osweiler showed me last year. I told y'all a lot of when the Osweiler when the hype machine was at its peak, I didn't really understand. I'm like, okay, I'm watching. He's not, doing anything to the detriment of the team, but like I don't see what all the hype is about the dude. Like for me,
$70 million.
Peyton, even in the condition that he was last year, because he was not good last year, I just didn't think it was any question when he comes back. Like, okay, the team should be his, because I don't think Osweiler did anything out of the ordinary to stake that claim. But there was a lot of hype behind him, and obviously the Houston Texans went out and gave him $72 million.
Are the Jets another potential landing place for Tony Romo?
Yeah, I mean the Jets are on the list. They're another team with a pretty good defense that could use a signal caller that's better than what they have. I mean, they still have to announce every week that Ryan Fitzpatrick still has the job. And that's even after, they played a pretty good game against the Patriots. Like, they have to announce that he's gone.
Fitzpatrick call him a confidence man.
Yo, I'm telling y'all, man, if you watch him play, man, there's times where you get in pause. Like, you think, yo, Ryan Fitzpatrick is kind of nice. Yo,
that's why people keep falling for that. That's why people keep paying him. Because he has 2 games that where you think he can do it, so you sign him to a short-term contract for more money than he's worth.
Confidence man.
Yo, he is a hustler.
Yo, he's a hustler, man. Shout out to him for that, man. Listen though, the quarterback position is so sus that people are going to always overpay and take chances. I mean,
right.
Because that's the quarterback position. There's not too many good quarterbacks in the world.
That's true.
I know Deb can say that.
Rams could be another. The Rams squad could be another destination for Tony.
Just think about how hype everyone in DC was over Robert Griffin III. And I say that to say this. We got Jonathan on the line calling in who wants to talk to us. So, Jonathan.
Hey, what's up, family?
What up, man?
We moved
my
on
favorite Washington professional football team fan.
He's done. We moved on from RG3. We moved on.
Everybody,
all that idolatry. After all that idolatry,
Jonathan, everybody hasn't, man. Because I still hear people who just won't admit that Kirk Cousins is pretty good because they still got that loyalty to RG3. Like, I don't get it.
Well, these are the same folks who still can't believe Trump won.
So you tell them they got to get over it. Just get over it.
You gotta let it go. Move on.
So what's up, man?
But I was gonna talk a few things with you guys. And actually, you guys have brought some good stuff. The Gronk situation doesn't surprise me. Bill Belichick is known not just for being a strategic guy or a defensive player or defensive and offensively a superior coach on the field, but he also is very intelligent behind the scenes. And if anyone who follows New England, they know that Bill Belichick does not like to really tell you what's wrong with his players. He does that for Tom Brady every year. He does that with the receiver kid, the Ellerman. He's hurt. Oh no, he's not hurt, or it's just an ankle when it's really a leg or arm or something like that. And Gronk has been hurt all season, and I think they've been covering it up as much as they could, and they just couldn't get away with it now. Gronk, is he going to come back at the end of the year? I doubt it, because I can't see you having back surgery this stage in the year and you being available in the playoffs. I just don't see it. Especially
it doesn't even sound safe.
Man, I don't even see you playing football after having back surgery.
Yeah, especially this early. I don't see it coming. They're saying, well, he's out indefinitely, a few weeks. I don't see it coming. So, but as you said before, New England always has something covered, so they'll be fine regardless. The other thing, you talked about Romo going to Denver or going to possibly LA or the Jets.
I don't agree with that LA thing. I meant to say something to B. Elson about that, man. They just picked the number. They just drafted a quarterback number one. I don't think
before we say no, what are the ingredients to give you a good offense? LA has decent receivers. They're not that horrible. They got a hell of a running back. The offensive line, I'm not sure about the offensive line. There's probably question marks there. But if they get a decent offensive line and use some draft picks that they got to get that line going, and they got the running game with Todd Gurley, and they got a couple of receivers that can actually go open, that might not be a bad area. Because I'll tell you one thing, if he goes to Denver, he's going to have the same problem Peyton Manning had in his last year or two. When that cold weather hits, and it's 20 degrees outside, and 15 degrees, and all that, you're not going to be able to perform at that level, especially with back problems. And even though Denver does have the team that could take you to the Super Bowl again, I don't see them succeeding out there. I think another destination no one's really talking about is I think they need to part ways with Carson Palmer in Arizona and maybe Romo can go out there for a year or two. I think he's a much better quarterback than Carson Palmer. And that takes a lot for me to say that, being a Redskins fan.
Carson is having a terrible season.
Hold on.
But he had a great season last season. I don't know if they would be willing to just drop him that quick.
He held out there that last part of the season.
Did.
I remember
that was one game. That was one, maybe 2 games. I would say 1.5 games, but overall,
he definitely tailed out in the championship game.
Yeah, the chip game.
He flamed out in the championship game. But
right.
Jonathan, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Why is it hard for you as a Redskins fan to acknowledge Carson Palmer can play football? Like, I don't get the correlation there.
No, he's talking about Tony Romo.
You're talking about Tony Romo. Oh, I thought you were talking about Carson Palmer. I was like, why you hate to say that as a Redskins fan that Carson Palmer can play? You talking about Tony Romo?
About Romo.
Oh, okay.
No. It's
just like you Eagle fans hate anything in the NFC East.
No. It makes sense now. But I thought you were talking about the other one. I was about to say, huh? But I get your point.
I've been known in these circles to defend Romo a lot throughout his career. Then he always do something stupid and,
Yeah, I don't think Romo like that.
Let me down.
Accident waiting to happen. Accident waiting to happen. Right.
But to your point,
but I still
right,
think he gets a bad rep for being on a bad team for most of his career.
But to your point, Jonathan,
his team makes mistakes all game and only his get highlighted. But that's life of a quarterback.
You're the quarterback of America's team. That's what happens. But Jonathan, to your point, there's also like a quality of life thing, and also you're right about playing in cold weather when you get that old. And also another thing is when you look at the division, like the AFC West. Even though I talk my talk, the Chiefs are going to be good for a little while, and the Raiders seem to have come back, and the Chargers they're one or two pieces away from being a competitive team. So, and then you look at where the Rams play. Like, I'd probably want to go to an easier division anyway, with better weather. So I mean, all that comes into account. Right. And Tony Romo is Hollywood. He's Hollywood anyways. He probably do want to be in LA.
Yeah.
I don't think that would be impossible because if you think about Jeff Fisher's situation, like, man, I don't know why he hasn't been a lame duck coach for the past 5 years, but at some point he has to be a lame duck coach on the hot seat, and maybe a move like that just to, throw a Band-Aid on the situation and look good for the time being, maybe, but it's still hard to think, okay, you're finally letting your number one pick play, and then you're just going to go grab somebody and throw them in over them because I'm worried about my job now. We have to do something right now. So it would be kind of crazy for them to do that as long as they waited to let the kid get on the field in the first place.
Yeah, that's true.
Right. But one last thing
I was going to say to y'all before I get off here, I know you guys got to get to other people. Something we're going to probably have to be talking about. Maybe this is probably more like an off-season conversation, but these quarterback contracts are getting ready to come up. Do you realize that Matt Stafford might make over $25 million a year next year?
Yes, we do.
I know people want to hear that, but he's having a career year.
Yo, man, it's the market.
He might get a contract that outdoes Andrew Luck.
Hey, John, Kirk Cousins is about to hit that.
Yo, he about to back that truck up.
No, because they think they might franchise him again, which is going to pay him around $24-25 million.
They're going to have to. It's going to be cheaper to do it that way than to write them, but didn't have them. It's $24 million next year.
Yeah.
Now, from my understanding is they don't want to pay him. They don't want to average him $24 million or $25, which is what it looks like it's headed now. Because you got Stafford, and then you also who's the other quarterback who's up for a new redo contract? Tannehill. They said his contract might have to get redo because he signed one of those 1 year and prove-it deals.
But here's the thing,
years.
man. This is the new age of sports. It's not about what you're worth. It's about timing and what you can negotiate. This is what I like to call.
Right.
I like to call this the Mike Conley theory, right?
I apologize. See, Conley took his money and rolled out like, man, I don't feel like playing. Let me say I'm hurt.
Oh, how about Darrelle Revis talking about he don't want to play no more?
Listen, man, I ain't mad at him, man. Listen, he backed the truck up a good 3 times already.
Yeah, Darrelle out there getting his ass bust. I won't want to play no more.
And he don't look good at all this year. Like he getting toasted by average receivers. They got him turning around his boot.
Years. I think he just personally. I think what it is, and someone was talking to me at work about this. We think he just took the guaranteed money. I think they paid him the money up front for 2 or 3 seasons. If I'm not correct, I might be off, but maybe 2 seasons they paid him all the money up front. He's playing horrible on purpose. That's the only reason I'm thinking of. He's either age caught up with him, his knees are done, or he just doesn't want to be in a jet.
No,
I don't think he would play horrible on purpose, though.
No, he's actually come out and said that his body is failing him. He said that. He said that his body just can't, there's only so many years you can play at that level in a physical game like football, but it's definitely looking bad, though.
Yeah, that's when you realize how great guys like Deion Sanders were to be able to string together, and especially your man Charles Woodson to be able to play at that level for a lifetime.
Look at Rod Woodson. Rod Woodson was like 57 when he left.
Yeah.
I mean, and these are all guys who made the transition from corner to safety. But I don't even think that Revis thinks he has that in him at this point. So he might. Because he's like, in my body, so I definitely don't want to hit nobody.
But
he never got all off season.
But we were talking about this at work, and I'm glad I got to y'all today. This thing about this, there's going to be 3 or 4 quarterbacks who are probably going to get paid $25 million on average next year. That's crazy. One of them is Stafford. The other one possibly is Romo.
Gotta love
it that way. But Romo, if Romo goes to one of these other teams and the Cowboys release him as expected, there's going to be a bidding war for Romo.
Oh yeah,
and,
I mean, because he's going to go to a team that think they can do it now. Like we're a piece away.
Somebody that thinks they won away. So God bless
him. Romo,
Cousins in there.
And then they're going to throw Romo into the preseason, and he's going to take a sack, and he's going to...
My neck, my back, my neck and my back. Oh.
or worse than that, they're going to have a great season. He's going to make the playoffs, and he's going to throw a pick to lose the game.
Right.
And they're going to say this is a microcosm of his career. Like, they're going to go in on him.
Yeah, they will. They will.
Yeah,
all right, but Jonathan, man, thanks for your call, man. We appreciate it.
All right, John, take it easy, homie.
Y'all take care, fam.
We got like 20 other people trying to get in right now, but we ain't got that much time left, so we apologize, y'all. But
the people in the chat room what they want, man. What do y'all think, man? Nobody answered. I think the Raiders for real.
Time. Anyway,
I ain't gonna front because I actually have a neighbor now who's a Raiders fan, so he comes down. And I let him watch Raiders on one of the screens, and I enjoy watching them play. Like I'm a big David Carr. I said David. Which Carr is he? I don't want to jinx him by calling him the wrong name. Then he's gonna start getting sacked.
Just call him D Carr.
Here's my thing, right? Here's my thing. Everyone knows I'm a Broncos fan, but I have the ability to be objective. I'm not one of them airhead fans that be like, everybody stinks and we're always great. Like, I just don't. So the one thing that scares me about this team with them in our division, it's not even Carr. It's not even Crabtree.
I didn't mean to call you David, Derek, man. My bad. I might have put the kibosh on your season.
Yo, it's nobody. It's not even their offense. Yo, Khalil Mack scares me, yo. Like,
scares everybody.
Yo, he's like something else. Like I mean, I don't want to wish a career into anybody, but I don't know how we gonna deal with him for the rest of his career. You know what I'm saying? So I need like a drug bust or something to happen where he has to go away and do some time or something because he's an animal, man. Like he's one of those guys. Now we got one of our guys too, but right now they're having a good season. It remains to be seen what they can do with it. But the fact of the matter is, our whole division is looking tough right now. The Chiefs aren't slouches either, and I think that the Patriots aren't going to have the cakewalk that a lot of their fans think they're going to have because, it's some teams that can ball with them. Let's just put it that way.
Now, because I know, y'all. I don't get into y'all divisional wars or anything like that, But when y'all were talking, you were saying how if the Raiders do all of this and then lose in the playoffs, then what does it mean? I think it has different meaning for them because they've been down for so long. I think,
can't tell them
it'll definitely be disappointing.
They don't acknowledge how they've been historically bad. They've been terrible.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But when you go, you start out 9-2, and however they're going to finish the season, it does raise expectations of the fans, so they might start thinking a little bit higher. But the improvement for them is definitely what you look for. Franchise.
You do.
Everybody can't just do it overnight. So for them to make that next step, even if they don't have playoff success, I think being down so long, you're getting yourself on track and getting in the right direction. I think that would be big for them.
And for me, right? Point. And for me, like I said, I can be objective. I think they have an amazing season, and they are a fun team to watch if you root for the Raiders. For me, it's sickening because I root for them to lose every week, and they seem to somehow. And the thing is, they're pulling out.
That's like when we watch the Cowboys. They act like they don't want to make any mistakes.
They're pulling out the close games, which is something you have to give him credit for. But for some reason, I don't know why. Maybe it's because of his previous experiences. I just do not believe in Jack Del Rio. Like, I just don't.
As a coach.
I just don't. And it's not even because he's, like, coaching with them. I just don't believe in him. I've watched him fail in a lot of different locations as a coordinator and a head coach, and I just don't believe in him.
That's a good point. I love to watch him play. I think they're positioned. I think they're positioned to be a good team for a long time to come. So we'll see. I don't believe that they're a real threat to win the conference championship, but I could see them, winning a playoff game. They're fun to watch.
And I kind of knew this would happen once they stopped rolling Al Davis out there because he died about 30 years ago. They've been Weekend at Bernie's and they used to just roll him out. I knew that once he wasn't there overshadowing the team that they would like get it together. So I was actually hoping that he stayed around a little bit longer. With all that being said, it's time to get out of here. Shout out to all the Raiders fans who will send me slander because for some reason I have a lot of friends who are Raiders fans. So shout out to all y'all. I love y'all. God bless. With that being said, thank you good folks for joining us again in the War Room. Shout out to everybody in the chat room, Facebook, Twitter, all the social medias. We appreciate all that. The people we couldn't get on the line, we apologize. Check with us next week because we're going to recap Week 13 of the NFL season and we're going to preview Week 14, talk about NBA, talk about Russell Westbrook, and whatever else we decide to talk to. Maybe we'll talk about the Sixers again next week for 2 hours. Who knows? So until then, enjoy your week. Enjoy your weekend of all sports you watch, whatever you're into. Don't forget, everything we do can be found at warroomsports.com. Cop my book, Sports the Book, at sportsthebook.com or warroomsports.com. Until next time, everybody, don't accept mediocrity. Be steadfast in the war against ignorance, and we'll see you chumps on top.
6 to 8. Yeah. War Room Sports. Y'all ready? Let's go. Stay in tune to Jimmy. Know the blueprint. Yo. Every Thursday, 6 to 8, they do this. Shout out to Dez, PJ, B. Austin, Doc Bay on replay. WarRoomSports.com. Get that mobile app. If not, dial 323-1400-12. They be going and you sensitive, then oh well. Yeah. Physical podcast, let's talk sports. Showtime like magic in the block push. Listen live, push one to join in. Rip your team or listen for your enjoyment. Hip hop scholars, pit stop and knowledge. Should be in sports credits, I ain't talking college. 5 guys, no beef though. Corporate secret, but the streets know. Belafonte, I got a G flow. KC royalty, I'm in beast mode. 2 hours, get your game up. Who's the best in sportscast? You better name us. War Room Sports. Yeah, you know, Jimmy, Dez, PJ, Doc Bay, B. Austin. I'm Jock. Up and coming on the beat.
I'm saying my name, put some respect on it. Did you?
War Room Sports. www.warroomsports.com. What? Ain't no more to it.
When you don't go to Geico.com, car insurance can seem intense. Like breakup R&B intense.
I thought you said you loved the sweater that I got you. If you didn't, you could have told me.
Geico makes it easy. Just go to Geico.com anytime to update or check your policy without all the extra drama.
I even had a gift